All right, welcome back to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel. My name is Chris and I'm here bringing you guys the high-rev perspective.
And my name is Josh and I'll be bringing the low-rev perspective.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Radical Evil Eye Pearl, and I'm going to be comparing that to the Motive Venom Hysteria and the Storm IQ Tour Sapphire.
And I'll be comparing it to the Storm Next Factor and the Hammerhead Pearl. These comparisons will give us and you an idea of what these pieces look like going down the lane. At the end, we will give our honest, unbiased review anywhere from nuts to trash. With that being said, we are here at Mesa East Bowl on a fresh house shot, so make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys out on the lanes.
I don't know what it is about this Evil Eye line, but I really enjoy this ball shape. The Evil Eye was probably one of my favorite balls of this last like 6 months or so. Was gonna throw it today, but it cracked on me unfortunately, so that was a little bit of a bummer. But to me, for whatever reason, this core shape sees it in the right part of the lane every single time. Even my misses, I still feel like it wanted to see the lane in the right spot every time. Even though it's a little bit cleaner, I was still able to move left, and it almost felt like it was hooking the entire way, which to me just means that I can just keep moving left, find as much oil as possible, and hit it as hard as I can, and I'm never gonna have a problem with it making the corner. So to me, I feel like it just really looked good, and I think I'm gonna be able to throw this on a ton of different things. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Motive Venom Hysteria and see how that compares. So the Venom Hysteria, I think, is a slight step down from the Evil Eye Pearl. You can definitely tell I wanted to get down lane and not cover quite as many boards. It's definitely a little smoother. Even for a weak and sharp ball, this ball is pretty blendy. I never really have it hockey sticking too many times. But for me, I was not able to be as far left as the Evil Eye Pearl just because it just didn't want to start up quite as much. The strength of the Evil Eye Pearl really saw it. Even when I got it in the oil, it just wanted to see it every time. And the Venom Hysteria just floated just a little bit more than the Evil Eye Pearl. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Storm IQ Tour Sapphire and see how that compares. All right, to me, the Sapphire is actually a little closer to the Evil Eye Pearl than the Venom Hysteria. To me, I feel like with the Venom Hysteria, I feel like it's a little earlier, but with how smooth it wanted to be off the friction, especially today, it felt like the IQ Tour Sapphire actually had more teeth even when I got it in the oil. It felt like the Evil Eye Pearl where it kind of wanted to hook every single time. Even when I missed in, it still felt like it was trying to hook, where the Venom Hysteria just wanted to be smoother and just didn't quite change directions as much. So to me, even though the IQ Tour Sapphire is quite a bit weaker than the Evil Eye Pearl, I still think it's a little closer than the Venom Hysteria. So, all right, final thoughts on the Evil Eye Pearl. To me, I think this ball is going to be my go-to medium sharp ball. There aren't too many balls that I have like in this spot, and I feel like this is just going to be really good, really versatile. To me, I really like the Evil Eye line, and this one is no different. After we threw the Evil Eye again, I put it in the nuts category after our sport review. To me, I think this ball is just going to have to go in the nuts category for me just because of how good I feel like it sees the lane no matter where I put it. I know like there was a couple where I got to the friction, it was quick, but I mean, you're gonna see those quick misses. But to me, even when I got it in the oil, I just really felt like it saw it in the right spot every time. So this ball is definitely gonna go in the nuts category for me.
For me, this ball was pretty clean, and it did have a smoothness to it for a Sim Pearl. I felt like it wasn't too quick to friction, which I really liked, because a lot of times I feel like a lot of weaker balls, especially on a house shot, can start to give you a very wet-dry reaction pretty quickly, and I felt like this one, they were starting to hook a little bit, so that friction spot was starting to get a little bit jumpy, but I still feel like it blended it pretty well for what was out there. Especially on a couple shots I missed in, and it actually tried to get off of it, where not a lot of other bowling balls really did that well today, and this one by far did it the best. So as I moved further left, you could still see that it was, still a quicker Sim Pearl, but something about it just had like a smoothness sense to it. I felt like it was still pretty big without being tumbly, so which I really enjoyed. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Next Factor and see how it compares. Just threw 5 shots with the X Factor. For me, this ball was a little bit stronger and was just a little bit more forward rolling than the Evil Eye. I did feel like I had to keep it in the oil for a little bit longer, where the Evil Eye was trying to get it to friction a little bit sooner. So just a little bit more of a, difference in angle through the front portion of the lane. But overall, this ball, I would say, is definitely, the X Factor was definitely that ball up where the Evil Eye you can definitely go to once the X Factors just become a little bit too big of a ball. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw that Hammerhead Pearl and see how it compares. For me, this ball was pretty kind of close to the Evil Eye, but I do feel like the Evil Eye overall just hooked more. I felt like the Hammerhead Pearl was more forward over shape, but just definitely overall didn't hook as much point A to point B. I felt like the Evil Eye definitely could bang it off the corner easier, and just overall could be a little bit more steep with my angles, where the Hammerhead I kind of had to play more of that shim, play more of the oil a little bit more. Final thoughts on the Evil Eye Pearl. For me, overall, this ball was definitely in that smoother Sim Pearl shape. Kind of had the smoothest of a Crown Victory, but overall just hooked more in my opinion. And overall just was kind of okay. It wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it was just okay. So for today, it's gonna be a meh. I felt like when it got to pocket, it was striking, but it wasn't, to me, it wasn't getting to pocket enough to kind of, blow it out of the park. So a meh for today.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.